This is Maginoni. Now, I didn't get through all the books today because that debate was just, it was just amazingly fantastic. I mean, I don't care which side of the fence you're on, but you have to admit, there was some personal attacks, there was some mudslinging, there was some poking going on, and it was great, you know. But anyway, so I didn't get through with everything. So what I thought I'd do is I'd include some of the books that I bought last week that I read that were the Independents. So anyways, first up is Britannia. Now this is a Valiant book. Actually, this was actually really cool. If you're looking for something that's going to be really violent, this is a great one for you in that sense. It's basically the Romans. You got their Romans. There's a monster. There's violence. There's corruption. There's a lot of little things in here that are just, it's basically, nothing that you would ever find in a Captain America book type thing, or a Superman book. I can't. I'm missing the first page and the first issue, so I can't go too much into the plot because I got to go track this down now. But it looks like there's basically the Romans sent some troops, and there's a group of people who are very upset with this. They don't agree with this, and there's a little bit of conflict between the two group organizations, and there's some fighting, and there's a monster. That's the very high level viewpoint, but I'm definitely I think I'm going to read the first issue. Insufferable. Basically, there's a city, it's cut off from everything. Two superheroes that don't like each other are left to defend the innocent. Okay, this I felt was the artwork was so amateurish that I just couldn't bother. I'm not going to bother with it anymore. I mean, the panel count is pretty pathetic. I mean, I don't know if it was just story light, which is unusual for Wade, or what, but I'm just like, if you compare this to like a Marvel or even a regular, forget Marvel and DC, just compare it to other Image books. I mean, this just isn't doing very well, and this is definitely a very sad book. I'm definitely not buying any more of this. This is just horrible. I suffered reading this. Warlords of Appalachia. Now, this, I guess you can kind of say, could be a future of the U.S. where there's like internal war, a civil war type thing. There's people who aren't getting along with the local governments. I thought that there might be some zombies in here, and there's something going on along that line, and basically there's going to be some major fighting. I guess you can say there's a family that is, I'll just say well liked, but they're a little bit on the aggressive side. There's a little scuffle at a border or a spot where there's troops. A certain member gets killed, and it sparks off an incident. And overall, I mean, the art I thought was decent. The story was decent. I just don't know if I'm going to continue with it. Part of me thinks that if I do continue that, I'd rather just get a trade, because I just don't want to deal with another monthly. But it was interesting, but I don't know. I'm on the fence if I want to continue it or not. I think if I gave it another issue, that might be the better way of me judging for sure. But I mean, it was a welcome change, definitely, compared to just reading superhero stuff. Okay, Mighty Thor 12. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this, but basically this is just Thor flying off into space, deep into space, and then they're basically setting up for the Shi'ar War with Asgard. I mean, it was a decent read, but to me, it's just, I guess you could say it was just a good transition issue in the sense where you had story build up, ended, and now you need something to bridge to the next arc. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 20. Kitty litter fodder. Alright, all this really is just the Jackal bringing back Otto. And, we knew this was going to happen, so it was just a matter of how Otto was going to get his body back. So, whenever they figure out a way to get away from the pills, then eventually, once that happens, then Otto's will be back free and clear. But I mean, it's just to me, reading this book was just like I'm just hearing a little child in the background complaining, crying that some like the neighborhood kid is always better than him, and he's always beating him, and he's just he doesn't understand, and then he's just just lashes out. And to me, that's what it just felt like. And I'm just like, I've granted that's who Otto is now, but that's all I remember reading about leading up to Superior Spider-Man. So I wasn't that impressed with it. Other people might like it, but for me, I'm just like, yeah. All right, Injustice 20, Victory. Is it victory? Well, on some levels it is. The resistance is pretty much jacked up, that's for sure. But I believe this issue here ends a particular storyline, and they're going to another phase, and I think that's the end of it, basically. Or maybe this is the beginning of the end, I don't know. But anyways, overall, this was, Superman makes the final confrontation against Batman, and Batman's stalling for time, and so this way the Batwoman and Batgirl can do their deed with the teleporters. Things don't go quite as planned, and everybody's scattered. And, like I said, they're gearing towards the final battle. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out, but I have a feeling it's not going to play out happily when it's done. Still, one of the best books that DC puts out. Spider-Woman. Might want to help if I put it the right way. Basically, why do I like Spider-Woman? I'll tell you why. This is a story about going to the beach. Spider-Woman goes with her baby, meets Porcupine Man with his kid, and she just wants to spend some time at the beach. Unfortunately, Sandman comes along, and he starts causing trouble. But Jessica, she's got a baby. Porcupine Man has to put on his suit and save the day. This was actually really good, and I have a feeling from what I've heard, Great Lakes Avengers, Squirrel Girl, all of those others are, in that similar vein where it's just interesting, it's different. But this, I'm glad this came in under the wire before my cutoff, because I'm really enjoying this book. It's been really, this is like one of those things I can say is, when you read the same types of stories, Green Goblin fights Spider-Man again, Joker fights Batman again, Lex is attacking Superman again. When you read those stories over and over and over and over again, it's just nice to get something different, and, while I understand everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people just love seeing those same classic battles over and over again. But to me, it's the little things. Like, I will remember, years later, I will remember Spider-Woman more than I will remember most of Dan Slott's run after Superior Spider-Man, which is, honest to God's truth. And I will remember Spider-Woman more than most of Snyder's Batman run. Batman run, I'll probably always remember Death of the Family, but everything else, nah, because it to me it was just another Batman story. This is just fresh, it's unique, it's different, and it's like it's a welcomed addition to my library. Trinity number 2. Okay, what we have here is the Trinity. They're back in time. Young Clark thinks that they killed his dad because his dad he can't hear his heartbeat, and Kent is worried that Pa Kent is worried that because Superman looks like young Clark, that he thinks that that's the dad and he's going to take the kid away. So that part was all interesting, and I'm like, going, what the heck did this come from? And then, the story's going, Superman's actually able to talk to his dad, but yet he's not saying anything, not more than 5 words. You have Batman grumbling, doesn't he realize that there's time continuance and blah, 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 they can't be doing this? And Wonder Woman's like, Bruce, come on. It's his dad. Give him this chance, you know? And it's just like classic. That's exactly the voice of everybody, you know? But then the twist comes at the end with a unique villain for this Trinity to fight, which I thought was really good. But overall, I enjoyed it. One of the best that DC's putting out for sure, which is, you know, compared to what this was like before, you know, with the Batman, Superman, and Batman, Wonder Woman books, those were just horrible. This is just fantastic. But anyways, this is some comic reviews for you. Let me know what you guys picked up, what you guys are looking forward to reading the most. Well, I gotta read the Attack on Titan trade, and I'll really report on that. We'll have some more stuff later. So until next time.